Hi, I'm Anna. Welcome back to another English listening story with subtitles. Today, I have a story to share with you. It's about a moment that was stressful, confusing, and looking back, actually pretty funny. This is the story of how I lost my phone on the train. Let's start at the beginning. It was a sunny Saturday morning in Sydney. The sky was bright blue, and the air was fresh and cool. The kind of morning that makes you feel ready for anything. I was excited because I had plans to meet my friend Lily for lunch in the city. We hadn't seen each other in a while, so I was really looking forward to catching up. I live in a quiet neighborhood a bit outside the city center, so I took the usual train into downtown. It's a ride I know very well, about 30 minutes, with stops at busy stations and sleepy suburbs along the way. As I walked onto the platform, I could hear the sounds of the city waking up. Birds singing, people chatting, and the distant hum of traffic. When the train arrived, I stepped inside and found a seat near the door. This is my favorite spot. It's close to the exit, so I can get off quickly, and there's often a nice view out the window. I put my bag on my lap, took out my phone, and slipped on my headphones. I opened my messages and texted Lily. "I'm on the train now. See you soon." After sending the message, I set my phone down on the seat beside me. I leaned back, looking out the window as the train started moving. Houses and parks passed by, all bathed in the morning sunlight. I felt relaxed, thinking, this day is going to be great. Time passed quickly as I watched the scenery and listened to music. Trains came and went in the opposite direction, and I saw families walking their dogs and people jogging in the parks. Everything felt calm and normal. But sometimes, even on the most ordinary days, something unexpected happens. 20 minutes later, the announcement came. Next stop, Central Station. That was my stop. I gathered my things, stood up quickly, and walked off the train with the other passengers. The station was busy, full of people rushing to work or meeting friends. I felt a little rush of energy. I was almost in the city. But after a few steps, I felt something was off. It was like a tiny alarm went off in my mind. I reached into my bag, like I always do, to check the time on my phone. But it wasn't there. I stopped walking. My heart started beating faster. I checked my bag again, digging around in every pocket. Still nothing. I checked my coat pockets, my jeans, even my lunch bag, anywhere it could possibly be. But no phone. I stood in the middle of the busy station, frozen. I whispered to myself, wait, did I leave it on the train? My stomach sank as I realized the answer. Yes. I remembered putting my phone down on the seat beside me. I must have forgotten to pick it up when I stood up. Panic started to set in. I turned around and ran back to the platform, hoping the train was still there. But it was too late. The doors were closed, and the train was already pulling away from the station, heading to its next stop. I watched as it disappeared down the tracks. I stood there, feeling shocked. My whole life was on that phone. My contacts, my notes, my bank apps, photos, and even the directions to the restaurant where I was supposed to meet Lily. And I realized I didn't even remember Lily's phone number. It was saved on my phone, like everyone else's. For a moment, I felt completely alone, phoneless and a little bit lost. The world seemed bigger and noisier without my phone in my pocket. I knew I had to do something. I couldn't just stand there all day. I looked around and saw a man sitting on a bench, scrolling on his phone. He looked friendly, so I walked up to him and said, "Hi, I'm really sorry. I just lost my phone on the train. Could I please use yours, just for one call?" He looked surprised, but after a second, he smiled and handed me his phone. "Sure, go ahead." I dialed my number and waited. Ring, ring, ring. But then, to my disappointment, it went to voicemail. I left a short message. "Hi. I think I left my phone on the train. Please call me back if you find it." I handed the phone back and said, "Thank you so much." He nodded and wished me good luck. I felt a little better, knowing at least I had tried to reach my phone. Then, I remembered something important. A few months ago, I had used Google's Find My Device feature when my phone got lost in my apartment. Maybe I could use it again to find my phone on the train. I hurried over to the information desk and asked, "Excuse me, is there a computer I could use? I lost my phone." The staff member was kind and pointed to a small desk with a public computer nearby. I quickly logged into my Google account and clicked Find My Device. My heart was beating fast as the map loaded. And there it was. My phone's location appeared on the screen. It was still on the train, moving toward the last station on the line. I felt a wave of relief. At least I knew where my phone was. Now I had to figure out how to get it back. I ran back to the platform and checked the schedule. The next train to the final station was leaving in 2 minutes. I hopped on, watching the Find My Device screen on the public computer one last time, hoping my phone would still be there by the time I arrived. The train ride felt much longer than usual. My mind was racing with thoughts. What if someone took my phone? What if it was gone forever? What should I do if I can't get it back? But I told myself to stay calm. All I could do was try my best. When the train arrived at the last station, I jumped off and started searching. I walked through each carriage, calling my phone again and again, hoping to hear it ring or vibrate somewhere. At first, there was nothing, no sound, no phone. But then, suddenly, my phone rang. Someone answered. "Hello?" a voice said. I felt a mix of surprise and hope. "Hi, I just found this phone on the train. Are you the owner?" the person asked. "Yes, thank you so much. Where are you now?" I replied, almost out of breath. "I gave it to the station guard on the main platform," the voice said. I rushed to the platform, my heart pounding. And there it was, my phone, safe and sound, in the guard's hand. I felt like I wanted to cry, but instead I just smiled and said, Thank you so much." The guard smiled back and said, "Glad it's back where it belongs." I held my phone tightly in my hand, feeling so grateful. It was a small thing, but losing it had felt like the end of the world. And now, getting it back felt like a miracle. That afternoon, I finally met up with Lily at the restaurant. I was a little late, but she didn't mind. When I told her the whole story, she burst out laughing. "Only you, Anna," she said, "would turn a simple train ride into an adventure." She wasn't wrong. We spent the next hour eating good food and laughing about my crazy morning. It felt good to be able to laugh about it, now that everything was okay. Looking back, that day taught me a few important things. First, don't put your phone on the seat beside you, even if you think you'll remember it. It's too easy to forget when you're distracted or in a hurry. Second, people are often kinder than we expect. The man at the station who let me use his phone, the staff at the information desk, the person who found my phone and gave it to the guard. All of them helped me, even though they didn't have to. Sometimes, all you have to do is ask for help. Third, when life throws you into a little chaos, you can handle more than you think. At first, I felt panicked and hopeless. But step by step, I found a way to solve the problem. It wasn't easy, but it worked out in the end. Losing my phone felt like a disaster in the moment. But now, it's just a funny story I can share. And it reminds me that even when things go wrong, there's always a way forward. Have you ever lost something important, like your phone? Maybe it was your wallet, your keys, or your passport. How did you feel? What did you do to solve the problem? I'd love to hear your story. Share it in the comments. It's a great way to practice your English and connect with others who have had similar experiences. If you enjoyed this story, please hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more true English listening stories with subtitles. I post new videos every week to help you practice real-life English in the most natural way. And remember, every little panic might lead to a little growth. Sometimes the most stressful moments become the best stories later on. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.